We have arrived at the number symbolism video for 4,554. And like a lot of the symbolism videos, there's more to this than what I'm going to share. But this gives you an idea of stuff you can choose from. Remember, the sage controls the oracle instead of rather consulting it. And let's be honest too, let's not be soothsayers. Are you completely disappointed and defeated in your show of power? Another one, east or south and northeast are southwest and northeast. And then we have the feminine has been changing its house into being the star as long as it has been initiating rulers. And northeast and east are south, with north are south and east. Below, against east or south, and south above with south or east with west below. And I'm using a main attribute on the cube of space, but sometimes you go back to the Sefer Yetzirah, you're something that is more traditional as a secondary. It is in our nature to achieve mastery, but that may need the masculine and a guide. There's feminine control, but masculinity and religious officials aren't something to separate from. So it goes to figure that we would choose Surah 45:54. Fastaqafa qammahu fata'uhu innahum kanu qamman fasiqin. And so some people rebel as being part of, being led. But one thing that's happening is people are being made fools, because as we see with the context, these people just wanted wealth, and they're doing whatever they think they need to do. It goes to the point where people are doing foul things and supposed Illuminati rituals that really didn't get them anything, because people go around the back alleys and parties and stuff and say, I can get you into the Illuminati, and people even attribute their fame because they remember something weird, that, oh, I must have joined the Illuminati, which ended in the 1700s or something. But even with or without these scams going on, people are just, they think they want something, they're going along, they think they're, it turns out they're not really of a legitimate cause. There's a buzzword or something. So whether it's wealth or whatever's going on, or whether they're not getting the wealth, they're looking up the people, the rich, saying, oh, celebrities, look at it, I'm going off on a tangent, but so verse 4,554. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tuqaddimu baina yaday Allahi wa rasulihi wattaqullaha And in religion, we want God consciousness. We want to be heard. We want to be witnessed by who knows all. But when it comes to the revelation and the inspiration, that does not get put first over any of our lives here. So I'm going to interlace what we're doing with the verses in Tanakh that equal what we're looking at. So let's start here. O Gematria, what would I do without you? Deliver the millions of missing children and missing adults. Stop them from being sold in the name of Jesus. Now, it was apparent, something that happened during the last presidency is that over 1,400 people went missing. Over 1,400 kids went missing from government custody. And that president wanted to make sure everybody knew he was Christian. So was this connected to some ritual? I'm not going to go into conspiracies like that. But if you go back in time, in the Crusades and stuff, a lot of people were killed and kidnapped in the name of Jesus, including the slave trade. As much as it was secular, the Christians excused it as their duty to civilize the world by, the slave trade. They were in it for the profit, but Christianity didn't stop them, was my point. Reveal the real truth, reveal the real truth, reveal the real truth. Sometimes I'm going to include things that if you say it a few times or twice or something, you're going to equal the number. July 19, 2020. That is something to look at. That's perhaps something's going to happen. Well, something's always going to happen. And there's another date on here that will be passed when this video goes live. But so Joshua 6:24, and Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his donkeys, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them into the valley of Achor. Now, I don't know if it's Achor or Achor, I just have the sort of Bible volume that I grew up with. It doesn't have the Aramea in it. 137, verse 7, 9, Mugj on Gematrix, hexes, and sent. Sent? Oh, and set. Okay. Some of these things aren't going to make quite sense, but that what happens when these people's like, I'm looking for these patterns and the patterns to rule my life if I only know what they are, or, Vatican wants me in their intelligence agency. What do I do? Miss 6. People who hate how things are never try to fix it. And that's the thing. So much of life, so much of the culture is about wanting to feel offended and oppressed and all this stuff, but they're not really offering anything whatsoever. Only a moron would believe the devil's capable of love. Well, people try to moralize good and happiness and sadness and all that sort of stuff, feelings, oh, love and hate, oh, the devil must only hate, and there's just no indication of that. This is just a doctrine that people have made up. Full moon, total lunar eclipse, July 15, 2011. So, if enough people see this video, they're going to find something that, oh, this is like it's directly speaking to me. That's the key to saying something symbolic, is you want a lesson that speaks generally, but you also want stuff that's going to very specifically give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks to the Lord, our God. Give thanks. Everybody always walks out on me. World's greatest love story now playing. Jewish perverts in Hollywood. Well, like I've said before, one of the things is it's not really. There's problems. Oh, I wasn't even looking at the right book of Chronicles. There are problems with certain secular Jews that you don't find with who's that? Steven Spielberg and the North American Man Boy Love Association, and there are people out there, but it's not because of Judaism. You look through this book, you're going to find out death penalties for certain people that we're talking about. So let's not blame it on the religion that holds these things as death penalties. I'm not saying go out and often do vigilante justice or anything. Answers will come to you sometimes in your dreams. Now, they're dreams from 3 sources. Are you analyzing what you encountered in the day and it's just your psychology speaking to you? Or is it something else? And very often the something else is demons. So which one of those things that aren't really spiritually guiding you any differently, at the very least, are you going to follow? Are you going to follow the true dream of the believer that's directly sanctioned by God? 2 Chronicles 32:31. Howbeit, in the presence of the ambassadors of the princes of Babylon, who sent unto him to inquire of the wonder that was done in the land, God left him to try him, that he might know all that was in his heart. July 4th, 2020. Now, this will already be past when this video goes up, but anything unusual associated with that would be an interesting thing for people to let me know what's going on here. Isaiah 63:14 is the next verse, but let's look at this. Acts of destruction upon those who willfully hurt children. So 63:14. As the beast goeth down into the valley, the Spirit of the Lord, probably Yahweh, not so increasing existence. God is a noun and a verb, but never Lord, caused him to rest. So didst thou lead thy people to make thyself a glorious name. So we have certain secrets being laid forth there that a lot of people are just going to completely miss out on. Donald John Trump, the trumpet of angel, you are appointed the one great work. Now, everybody has the great work that they're supposed to do, and that's the thing, I think, even people who are supposed to be in some of the most important positions in the land have failed. No matter what they do, if they're not doing the great work. There are universal and particulars of this spiritual work, of this psychological building up of their name. But if this, got to look at this as something different. 5016 and others. Sorry about the delay, but we have cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handeth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one to his own land. Now, in my country, we've stepped away from some of this blood and soil stuff, but we're kind of coming back. And is it Nehemiah, Joshua? Oh, Nahum. Okay. Jehovah God has washed his hands of the Jews. Sounds like something in a half-guided sermon, doesn't it? Again, it's not about the whole blood and soil thing. It does, but and it's not even about labels. Don't even say any one of your hags wants me, Randy. And whether somebody trying to be a matchmaker or somebody selling prostitutes or something, at least on the physical level, let's be real about it. Men are not preferring the wrinkled and the otherwise showing of age. But I mean, there are more important things, but there could be an essential sort of thing. Like you literally see some matchmakers trying to set up people with people 20 years older than them, and it's like, why is this the first thing? And it's like, particularly when it's setting up a male with a female that's older, it's like, men want children, a lot of people pretend they don't, but, O Lord, correct me, but with judgment, not in thine anger, lest thou bring me to nothing. Now, judgment isn't positive or negative. I think it's very good that this is included here, but might as well include the last Bible verse that we're going to share here, which happens to be the last one in Nahum. There is no healing of thy bruise, thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap the hands over thee, for upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually? And, well, certainly we're looking at a certain judgment about wickedness, but pretty much everybody's going to be accused of various things. Everything's evil and ignorant to someone, you could say, but there's something to be said about not inflicting others with even the knowledge of certain things. 14,292 days. If enough people see this, they're going to see something that happened that many days ago. They're going to see something that happened that many days in the future. Perhaps that's all that's left of their life. But just like the verses, the individual aspects of these verses that we look at for symbolism further, the wider context in the passages, we're really in control with what we do with these things. The godly meaning of the sacred hexagram, holy, 666 is the flower of life. Just like in my 603 score and 6 playlist, that really went as extensively into the number as I could think of at the time. Perhaps if I went back, I could think of something more to add to the list. But there is, with that number, pretty much almost everything that could be tied to it symbolically isn't anything bad. And as the beast, life. So as we've seen, coming down like a beast, it's like, so the animal nature isn't always put in bad terms, even in the Bible. Never cross before a trolley. You will find more room on the other side. If you move around and wait, don't risk your life unnecessarily, is a good goal to look at. What is anyone ever seen, film, Videodrome? I think it's based on this site. Zachary James Carter of the Great White Brotherhood need monetary, not using good language is sometimes necessary to form the number values you're looking for, right? God will make the Federal Bureau of Investigation suffer its greatest losses of all time. Well, something going on in my country, at least when this is going on, they're not complaining about the FBI or the CIA or the big corporations. They're breaking up small business and they're talking about people even who made it better for the black community, people who at the end of their life weren't racist. They're attacking those legacies. Everybody has some bad thing about their history, and the FBI has done a lot of good, but sometimes they decide, let's not deal with the more serious crime. So there's some issues with the FBI, and that's going to come back against the organization at some point. When they say Fuzzy was, heaven, 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 heaven. First, Ka'apa was moving to the vision and the voice of the silence. If you put a word for the Saturnal, you're looking at the cube and stuff. The silence is definitely an aspect because it goes beyond something that you can say something about. And that whole pilgrimage, it's a psychological diagram. So it's an active thing. You enact your psychology. You're involving yourself spiritually with an obedience beyond the symbols, beyond the planetary and other planetary degree of the sphere of stars and other things that you're going to see symbolically laid out there. Certain constellations are pointed to, but that's not the point. They're serving in a symbolic manner, and they know they've gone beyond the idolatry and other misassociation, shirking from monotheism that people can look at. So, what is your experience and understanding of any of these matters, any of these numbers? It's your choice how to believe and how to act in regards to the information that you've encountered.